I'm Steph and welcome back to my beauty stash. Today, as you can see, I have all of my blushes laid out here on my dining room table, and we're gonna do another declutter video. So I've been wanting to do this declutter video for quite some time because I haven't touched my blush stash in quite a while, and I've been adding more to it, which I just did today. I ordered all of the new e.l.f. cream or putty cream blushes. So excited to be trying those out. Stay tuned for that video. It should probably be up towards the end of next week. That's probably when I will get them in. But I need to make room for those because I ordered like 8 blushes today. So we're gonna clean this up today. I'm gonna take you through my entire blush collection and we're gonna see what's worth keeping and what needs to go. I have my damp makeup eraser ready because I am going to swatch some of these blushes for you. And I also have my basket here where I'm going to be putting the things that I'm going to, let's see, am I going to put things I keep in here? I'm going to put the things, probably the things that I toss. They're gonna go in this basket. All right, so let's start with e.l.f. Since I just mentioned that I purchased those new putty cream blushes, I have all of these bite-sized little face palettes, and I have done a review over these, which I will have linked up above so that you guys can check that out. But I swatched all of these on my cheeks. They are a blush and highlight duo. I like all of them. I actually use all of them. Some though, I can't use the highlighters just because, like for example, this one is just a little too dark for me. This one is in the shade Coconut. But what I ended up doing with this one is I actually ended up using the shade as a bronzer. And so it worked out better for me and my skin tone as a bronzer, but then you can see the highlighter still it's a little too dark for me, but nevertheless, I am gonna keep all of these just because they are fairly new to my stash. This actually is one of my favorites. This one is in the shade Cantaloupe. Now I also have this other e.l.f. palette. This one is the Fresh and Flawless palette. And I don't remember, I've had this for quite some time, and I want to say I bought it because I thought it could be maybe a dupe for like an Hourglass, but this is really a light palette. This is supposed to be a bronzer, and I don't know, there's just, for me, there was never a lot of payoff. So I don't know, I mean, see how light it is? I mean, and I'm light to begin with. So I don't know, I don't think I'm going to be keeping this one. I think this one is gonna be going in the discard pile. Now I really enjoy this e.l.f. palette. This is the e.l.f. blush palette. These are shades that really show up. Very wearable, everyday shades. I like that this is more of like a tan shade, which I don't think it's meant to be a bronzer, but it might, let's see, I don't remember. Yeah, this is definitely just like a neutral blush, but a very, very pretty palette. And I want to say this palette is it $5, $6, very, very affordable. And I do like that it comes with a full-size mirror. I am definitely going to be keeping this blush palette. And this is the last e.l.f. blush that I have in my collection, and this is the primer infused blush in the shade Always Earthy. I am going to keep this one. This is a very, let's see if I can swatch this one, a very warm toned blush shade. Compare that with a multitude of different looks. So I am gonna keep this one. Next is the only Urban Decay blush that I think I have in my stash, and this is a very old blush. This is the Urban Decay Obsessed blush, Afterglow 8-hour press blush. This is super old. Like, I've had this for so long. It is a beautiful color, but yeah, guys, this is probably like 8 years old, so I do have to discard it just because of the age. Next up is from the brand Doll 10, and this one is from QVC. This is actually a cream blush Very, very pretty shade, but I've had this in my collection for such a long time that I do need to discard it. This next one is from Physicians Formula. This is the Natural Defense Multicolor Stick. I did a review over all the products in the Natural Defense line last year on my channel, so I will of course have that linked up above. But this was one of the items that just didn't work for me. Like, it went on well and it applies well, but it just didn't last for the entire day. Like, I think I got maybe 3 or 4 hours out of it, and that was it. I don't know, I might give it another shot, let it hang around for a couple more months, but this just wasn't my favorite in the collection. More Physicians Formula. This is the Butter Collection palette. Guys, y'all have seen these palettes. They're so bulky, they're so chunky. I don't know why Physicians Formula did this, but these are what the shades look like. Really, really pretty. This is the blush shade in here. These are your 2 highlighters, and then this is the butter bronzer. I've had this in my collection for a little while. I really enjoyed the highlighters in here, so I kind of just want to see if I can depot it and maybe put them in a Z palette or something, just because this case or this little box takes up so much space in my little organizer tray that I have for it. But those are the shades right there, and ignore that bruise I have. I get bruises, I don't even know how I get them, but yeah, these are the shades in this Physicians Formula palette. I mean, these highlighters are gorgeous, all of it, they're all gorgeous. So I am gonna keep it, but I am gonna have to figure out something else, like another container for this, because this just takes up way too much room. Next is this Morphe palette. This is the blush palette in the shade 8C. I really love this one, and while I don't reach for it that often, I am not ready to get rid of it yet. There's some very beautiful cool tone blush shades in here. You have some that are matte, some that have more of like a satin sheen finish to them, and I really do love this one. Next is from one of my favorite skincare brands, and this is the brand Josie Maran. I have had this little peach blush in my stash for so long. I do need to discard it just because it is old, but it was still a very pretty shade, and I did enjoy wearing this blush the time that I would use it. Next is my Alamar Cosmetics. This is the Corolete Blush Trio in the shade Fair Light. I love this palette. I am definitely going to keep it. I like to just swirl my brush in all of the shades and just wear it that way. Next is from the brand Too Faced. This is the Natural Face palette. I mean, this packaging is pretty substantial. Like, it has weight to it, and it really is a beautiful palette. Let me turn it around this way. You have the 2 highlighter shades right here. These could be your bronzing shades, and then these are your blushes right there. I wear everything interchangeably, but I really, really love this palette. And the highlighters, guys, I've gotten several compliments on these highlighters whenever I do wear them. I enjoy this palette very much, and it's definitely something that is staying in my stash. Next up is this CoverGirl. This is the Peach Punch highlighter palette, and I don't know why they call it a highlighter palette when there's only one highlighter in it, and then you have like what's supposed to be a bronzer, and then this is going to be a blush. I like it. Does it have a scent? Yeah, it smells like peach. It's okay. I am going to keep it just because this is the only CoverGirl blush face palette that I do have. Next is from the brand Note, and this is the shade Desert Rose. This is a crazy pigmented blush. Like, you only need a little bit of this blush, and it's definitely going to go a long way, and it lasts all day. Has a mirror up here as well. I did receive this in a boxy charm. It's just a really nice, kind of like a peachy toned, reddish toned, just a warm tone blush in general. Really, really pretty. Again, if you have this one in your collection, or you have any Note blushes, go in with a light hand because you definitely get a lot of payoff with them. Next is another blush that I got in a boxy charm, and this is from Laura Geller. This is her Baked Blush and Brighten. This is in the shade Tropical Hues. And I love Laura Geller products. I used to wear the the Balance and Brighten powder foundation all the time, and it's actually something I want to get back into. But this blush is beautiful. I mean, this is just a really, really pretty blush. Nice sheen to it. This is definitely staying in my stash. Now let's talk about ColourPop blushes. This one is the Pressed Powder Blush in the shade Whole 9 Yards, and this is from the Garden Variety collection. So this is a really new blush to my stash. I want to say it's been here for about a couple months, and I did review the entire collection on my channel, or almost the entire collection, so I will have that linked up above so you guys can check that out. Love that it comes with a full-size mirror. Love the color of the packaging. Have this other shade, and this is in the shade Night Bloom. This blush right here was the whole reason that I decided to order the Garden Variety collection, because this is just such a pretty blush shade. It's kind of like a lilac purple pinkish color. I also have this other ColourPop blush right here. This is from the Solstice collection, and this is in the shade Meteorite. Very, very warm tone, earthy tone blush, and all three of these ColourPop blushes are stained. Next is the Ulta Beauty Frida Kahlo collaboration, and this is a blush bronzer duo. I'll be honest, guys, this was not one of my favorite things from the collection, but I am gonna let it hang around just for a little bit longer, just because I really did enjoy pretty much everything in the entire collection. Next is a blush from the brand LA Girl. This is the Just Bare blush, and it really is a neutral blush shade. These blushes are so affordable. They do have a good amount of pigmentation to them. Swatch it back here. Oh yeah, you can definitely see there's some payoff there, and I've enjoyed using this blush. I have had it for a little while, but I don't think I'm ready to part with it just yet. I also have this other LA Girl blush. This one is more of a shimmer blush. This is in the shade Just Radiant, and you can see that there are like some shimmer particles in there. It's not glitter, but it's definitely shimmer. So you can see compared, this one is matte up here, and then this one is the shimmer. These are so affordable. I picked these up at CVS, and they are gonna stay in my stash. Next is this blush from the brand Believe Beauty. This is a brand that's specific to Dollar General, and this is in the shade Rosy Glow. Let me show you. Open this one up. A nice blush. It could be more of like a blush topper, because it definitely has some sheen to it, as you can see there, and it actually reminds me of a couple of the Wet n Wild blushes or blush toppers that I have, which I'll show you guys in a bit. I do love this brand. This is a pretty decent little brand. Everything is $5 or less, so I haven't had this for too long, so I'm gonna let it hang out just a little bit longer. So speaking of Wet n Wild, let's go ahead and start with these four that I have, and let's start with these two. These were from a box set, a box collection that they did, and which one was it? It was the one that had the dragonflies on it. This one is called Hummingbird Hype, and this one is called Dare to Soar. But these are more of like blush toppers. Yeah, like it's more of like a shimmer almost. Like definitely somebody with a deeper skin tone can wear this as a highlighter. And then this one right here, isn't that pretty? Unfortunately, I don't think they are available anymore, just because they were part of that collection. They might be. They might still be hanging around on the Wet n Wild website, but I do love them. I do like them a lot. I'm not ready to part with them just yet. Now, next up are these ColorIcon blushes. This one's in the shade Pearlescent Pink, and this one is in the shade, what shade is this one? Fantastic Plastic Pink. This one is old. I am probably going to be discarding this one. This one is fairly new. This is a very popular shade in the Wet n Wild collection. Really, really nice, like a neutral blush shade, and I think it looks really, really pretty, has a nice sheen to it. So Pearlescent Pink is staying in my stash. Plastic Pink has got to go because she's an oldie. Now here's the palette from the brand Wonder Beauty, and I do like the brand, but this palette was, I don't know, this is supposed to be a bronzer palette. It says Trip for Two Blush and Bronzer Duo. Those are the two shades, Kind of an awkward little palette. I do like that it has a mirror. The packaging is, it's all right, you know, but I got this in a BoxyCharm and I don't reach for it. I think it's a little unnecessary, so I am going to discard this one. I have two other Wet n Wild blushes that I did not talk about. Let's talk about them right now. This one is from the Pac-Man collection. This is the High Score blush palette. This is a really, really good blush palette. Unfortunately, I believe the collection is already gone, as is with most of these Wet n Wild box set collections. Like, you have to get them in the moment. You can't, you know, think about it for a while, because once they're gone, they're gone. But this was a really, really nice cheek palette, so I'm definitely keeping this one. I do have a video. This was like one of my first YouTube videos, was reviewing the entire collection. So of course I'll have that linked. This is the more recent one. This is from the My Melody and Kuromi collection. Guys, this, I mean, this can just fragrance your whole room. No joke, whenever I open my drawer where I have the eyeshadow palette that goes along with this collection, the whole drawer smells like blackberry or raspberry. That's what it is. This has a very strong fragrance to it. I do love it. These are your two highlighter shades. These are the two blushes, super pigmented, especially the blush shades. So because it's new, because I think it's cute, and because it just makes my room smell good, I'm gonna let it hang out for a little bit longer. Next is the Natasha Denona. This is the Bronze Cheek Face Glow palette. This was a miss for me, and I don't know why I didn't return it. It's just, I didn't have any Natasha Denona blush or highlighter, so I just wanted to keep it. But this, if you saw my review over the bronze collection, you'll know that this just didn't really work for me. I mean, and it's pretty, but maybe I'm not the skin tone for it. I don't know. This one was weird. They look better swatched on my hand than they do on my cheek. And then this right here, this one is pretty, but again, a little too dark for me. But I try to make them work, just because, I mean, I did pay a pretty penny for this palette. So now let's talk about this Juvia's Place Serafina blush. Oh my goodness, this is a gorgeous blush. This is beautiful. It does have a mirror on the front. I love it. Absolutely love it. You only need a little bit. It is super pigmented, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful shade. Again, Juvia's Place Serafina, definitely staying in my stash. Next up is a cream blush from Tower 28. This is the Beach Please blush. This one is in the shade Magic Hour. And I have two of these blushes. I really enjoy wearing them. I reviewed some Tower 28 products on my channel earlier this year. Very pretty neutral shade. And this is the other one I have. This one is in the shade Happy Hour. Really bright, fun blush. Nice, creamy. I mean, these are just really good cream blushes. I definitely think if you haven't tried anything from Tower 28, you try these and the bronzer, the Bronzino, which I do have in my stash. Really, really nice. And I love this clear packaging too. So these are definitely staying with me. So since we're talking about cream blush, this is the Fenty Cheeks Out Freestyle Cream Blush in the shade Crush on Cupid. Really, really pretty shade. If I can open it here, that's what it looks like. Let me swatch it for you. And it went along with the cream bronzer that she released around the same time. So this was the only one I had, so I am going to keep it. More cream blushes. These are from the brand Flower Beauty, which, by the way, I just reviewed the new Flower Beauty foundation. I'll leave it linked up above so you guys can check it out. But I have these two Flower Bomb blushes. This one is in the shade Melon, and then this one is in the shade Pinched. These are really, really pretty cream blushes. They do last a good while on the cheeks. I want to say that they retail for about $10 each, and I picked them up from Ulta Beauty. Here's another Fenty product. I got this in a BoxyCharm that Fenty BoxyCharm Premium or whatever they put out. I think it was earlier this year. This is one of those matchsticks, and this one is in the shade Chili Mango. This is the shade right here. It's pretty. I just need to play around with it a little bit more and try and make it work for me. So I am going to let it hang out a little bit longer. So now let's talk about Tarte. I have a couple Tarte blushes. This is a really, really old one. This is the Amazonian Clay 12-hour blush. This one is in the shade Party. And I got this like in a little set. So this is definitely a mini size, but it was well loved. I enjoyed wearing it. A very nice neutral pink toned blush, but because of its age and lack of use, I do need to discard this one. Next up is the Tarte Pro Glow blush palette. This is a nice palette, you know, good packaging, interesting packaging, and that's what the shades look like. Very wearable, very beautiful shades, really nice highlighter up here, bronzer up here. I am going to keep this one. It does have 2 mirrors on there as well, and they all fold back. So I do like it. So now let's talk about Hourglass. This is the holiday palette, the Sculpture Ambient Lighting Edit Mini Palette. This is for holiday 2020. I did a review of this already on my channel, and I love this very much. You have a full-size mirror right here. You do have the blush shade up here. This is the finishing powder, this is the bronzer, and then this is the highlighter. This is a beautiful, beautiful palette, very wearable. I went with this one versus the 6-pan palette just because I thought that I would get more use out of these shades, and seeing as to how I don't always reach for these finishing powders, that other palette had 2 of them, so I thought this would be something I'd get more use out of, and I absolutely have. I use this about maybe once or twice a week. I really love it. It's just beautiful packaging. Guys, if you want to put this on your Christmas list, I'd highly recommend this one over the larger palette. This is definitely all you need. Also from Hourglass is the newest blush. This is the Blush at Night. This is gorgeous. This is your splurge. This is definitely not inexpensive. It is a luxury blush and well worth the cost. A little bit definitely goes a long way. It is crazy pigmented, and just dip in ever so slightly with your brush and you're gonna have a very, very pretty flush of color on your cheeks. My last Hourglass blush is a mini, which I think these are, for me, these are the best size, and this is all I need. I am never gonna finish a blush this size. This I can finish, and I've used this quite a bit. This has been in my stash for well over a year. This is the Mood Exposure blush. Very pretty, neutral toned pink blush, and I do like that it comes with a little mirror. These are only $25. So if you want something from Hourglass, but you can't necessarily fork out the 40 or 50 some dollars, whatever this one cost, I don't blame you. Try their minis. We are almost done, guys. Oh my goodness, I can't believe we've gotten through all of these blushes already. Let's talk about Milani, because I have a lot of Milani blushes. Let's talk about this palette first. This is the Flowers of Love Rose Powder Blush. I used this one, but I don't really use it much anymore. The shades were pretty soft. To me, they just didn't really show up that much. This one is gonna go in the discard pile. Next is this Rose Powder Blush. This one is in the shade Wild Rose. I got this not too long ago. I think I got this like a month ago or maybe a month and a half ago. Very, very pretty shade. Super, super pretty. I believe I picked this one up at Target, so this one is staying in my stash. These are the 2 new shades in the Milani Baked Blush line. This is the shade Sunrise Serenita, and then this is the shade Coco Felicita. I did do a video already reviewing these blushes. I'll have it linked up above so you guys can check it out. But a little bit goes a long way. I have these other 3 baked blushes, and they are all 3 staying in my collection. This is the ever so popular Luminoso. This one is Dolce Pink, and then this one is Rose de Oro. Very, very pretty, guys. Milani, as you can tell, they are like one of my favorite blushes at the drugstore. So many pretty shades, just really great formula. and they last, guys. And they even have a mirror on the back, so it just flips back. Love these blushes. They are definitely staying in my stash. Forgot to mention this one. This is one of my favorite ones. Love this color. This is the rose blush. This is in the shade Coral Cove. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Guys, I forgot this one from Flower Beauty when I was talking about their cream blushes. This one is their powder blush in the shade Warm Hibiscus. Very, very pretty blush. I want to say I got this one from Ulta. This one is staying in my stash. This one is one of my favorite blushes, and this is from the brand Unicorn Glow. I picked this up at CVS. I did do a review over some of the Unicorn Glow face products, which again, I will have it linked. This one is in the shade Peach Berry. Gorgeous, gorgeous shade. Now let's talk about Essence, because I do have two Essence products. This one is super old and I'm afraid I might have to part with it. I mean, look, it's already broken. This is the Satin Touch blush. This one is in the shade Satin Love. This is such a pretty shade, but I am going to discard it just because it is broken. It's been in my stash for quite a while, but this is definitely something that I would want to replace. And then the other one I got, which is fairly recent, I got this over the summer. This is in the shade New Twilight. This is Blush Lighter, and it's kind of like a blush highlighter combo. Really, really nice. Just over your bronzer. Looks really, really pretty. And this is fairly new, so it is definitely sticking around. Now we have my two Honest Beauty blushes. I love them both equally. This is her lip powder blush in the shade Flirty. I wear this one pretty often. Absolutely love it. And then this is her famous, and when I say her, I'm talking about Jessica Alba in case you don't know. This is her Penny Pink cream blush. Gorgeous. Love that it has a mirror as well. These I picked up from Ulta.com. And last but not least is BH Cosmetics. This is the Bellini Cheek, what are we calling this? Bellini blush palette. This is from their Weekend Vibes collection. Love, love, love these shades. Love this palette. Does come with a full-size mirror. This is just a gorgeous palette with these beautiful coral, pink, peachy tone blushes. I mean, this could be the only blush palette that you need. I think it's definitely wearable all year round, and this is definitely one of my favorites from the BH Cosmetics Weekend Vibes collection. So guys, let's see. This is what we decluttered. Doesn't look like very much. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8 blushes. I decluttered 8 blushes with you guys today. It's better than nothing, guys. I want to thank you all so much for watching this video. You all have a great day or night wherever it is you all are at. Stay hydrated, guys. Drink your water, and I will see you very soon. Bye.